It's a fickle and fragile thing. Is there?
Ooh, collision!
It's a collision. What the hell on earth happened there?
That's
Wow.
a terrible mistake for RDA1 here. Bribon,
Oh no!
they just smacked into Bribon's stern. They were bearing away behind Bribon, and for some reason they really mistimed their turn there. That's a big crash. Big crash. Look at that.
This is the World on Water for April 10/20. We start with the huge crash between Audi 1 and Bribon in Cagliari, September 22, 2010. It's good to see our friend Vittorio back, and he explains what happened on Luna Rossa. And then we get a look at behind the Charal racing team and their IMOCA 60. We wrap the TJV and we go with the MC32 World Champions on board. And finally, Louay Habib in London talks to Thompson, one of the fastest men in the world. Watch out, here's the crash.
You know, when you've got the momentum and going downhill or uphill, you try to keep this momentum happening, and for Sebastian Coll and Johan and all these guys, to finish on a high in Spain last month was really important coming into this series here.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, well, confidence breeds confidence, and that's what it's about. And it is, as we say, it's a fickle and fragile thing. Is there?
Ooh, collision!
It's a collision. What the hell on earth happened there?
That's
wow.
a terrible mistake for RDA1 here. Bribon,
Oh no!
they just smacked into Bribon's stern. They were bearing away behind Bribon, and for some reason they really mistimed their turn there. That's a big crash. Big crash. Look at that. Massive crash.
Well,
Bribon is gone.
Whoa!
Huge disappointment.
What happened there?
Well, obviously.
Well, Jochen Schumann acknowledges his error, but well, there'll be a retirement for. That's a big hole in the side of the boat. That's a seriously big split. That's a direct hit.
Straight on, dead on, and look at the difference between the impact and the stern. That's 3 meters.
It is all of
3
that.
or 4
That's
meters.
incredible.
That's a massive mistake. So they must have had a problem easing the mainsail when they were bearing away. We had that on the screen. They were bearing away nicely, no problem, and then bang, straight in.
Bowsprit braking on Luna Rossa. The very latest accident we know about, an AC-75, has been performed, let's say, by Luna Rossa, by actually destroying a part of their bow and also the bowsprit during, most probably, a nosedive performed with a Code Zero hoisted. It is normal that with a Code Zero you should have much easier condition to fly and also lower speeds. But in the end, a nosedive implies forces that are completely out of range compared to the ones you have while sailing. So the first information about this braking was that the bowstay did break, and so then the bowsprit obviously went all the way up, destroying this part of the bow. So let's say a quite standard accident, because obviously when the bowstay is no longer operating, obviously the bowsprit is not prepared to achieve this kind of loads without breaking everything. In this case, the part that is broken is just behind the reinforced one because the bowsprit can be removed. So after this reinforcement, obviously there has been the breaking of the bow. But from another photo you see on the rib, while coming back to Cagliari with a broken piece, you see a different scenario, because the part you see is the famous part of the bow with the root of the bowsprit already broken, a few centimeters far from the bow. This means that actually the parts are three. One is the boat, the other one is this kind of piece, and the other one is at least three, let's say, is the remaining part of the bowsprit. So this leads to another interpretation of this accident, so that probably what has happened is that the bobstay has held the load, while the bowsprit has started to bend because of the load, of the added load of the water hitting the sail, the code zero, no? Obviously. At some point, the bowsprit could not hold this kind of load and has broken to its root close to the boat. This has led to a reversed V-shape of the bowsprit that has broken the bow and has kept the remaining part of the bowsprit probably in just another piece. This maybe is not the only one interpretation we can supply. For sure the guys on the boat and the guys on the rib, they know the truth, but still this is compatible with everything we see now. For sure this is not let's say strange accident for Luna Rossa. This is obviously part of development of this kind of new boats, and this load has to be taken in full consideration, because yes, code zero is not a so frequent scenario, but then if this kind of accident happens, then you have a hard time taking the start maybe the day after. So this is something that has to be addressed by Luna Rossa designers. Ciao, have a good day. Ciao.
Le Vendée Globe, il se gagne chaque jour. Sur l'eau, dans un bureau, une salle de sport, un chantier. C'est un défi autant sportif que technologique. C'est le travail, les compétences, les savoir-faire de toute une équipe.
One shot.
Qui permettront à un seul marin de mener une machine hors du commun autour du monde. Une course en solitaire, vraiment, seulement si l'on considère qu'elle commence le 8 novembre prochain. Pour nous, elle a démarré bien avant, et en équipe.
C'est une course qui se mérite. La première semaine et les premiers 10 jours de course, on a vraiment bien navigué, on a fait avancer le bateau vite, on a tiré des bonnes trajectoires. Entre 20 et 30 nœuds, et surtout à faire des empannages pour trouver la bonne route. C'est super humide, super fort. Et pour l'instant, ça se passe bien pour Charal. On a repris la tête. Voilà, à Puglia, à une longueur et demie. Au large de Gibraltar, génial. Salut les gars.
Le poteau noir, c'est juste de la malchance et ça a été 3 jours insupportables. Hein.
C'était vraiment un moment hyper dur à vivre. On passait des nuits, des heures sur le pont à virer de bord, empanner, revirer de bord, re-empanner dans des grains. Pas de vent, de la pluie, puis 30 nœuds, puis pas de vent, de la pluie. Et ça, c'était le manège infernal qui s'arrêtait plus.
Misère. Avec des grains de partout, avec tout le vent. Et nous on est là. Voilà. Il y a du vent, il se met à pleuvoir et après il n'y a plus de vent. Voilà. Non mais tout le poteau noir qu'on a passé au pré toute la journée, il est remonté sur nous, nos portants là, il y a de la pluie, des éclairs dans tous les sens. J'ai jamais vu ça, c'est incroyable.
On avait 120 000 d'avance sur le second et on a maintenant 100 000 de retard sur le premier. Dire que c'est la voile, que c'est du sport et qu'il y a pire dans la vie. Et on espère qu'on va au moins réussir à sauver une place sur le podium, ce qui est pas évident. Voilà, mais bon, toujours vivant. Allez, salut.
On se pensait pas qu'ils resteraient bloqués aussi longtemps, c'est sûr.
Mais on a eu mal pour eux, ça c'est sûr.
T'as Charal qui ont super bien navigué, qui vont vite, qui restent plantés dans le pot, tout le monde qui revient. C'est vrai que la voile est un sport ingrat. T'as beau être bon, avoir un bateau rapide, tu peux quand même te faire passer, quoi.
Là, on a coupé les classements quand on était dans le poteau noir parce que c'était vraiment trop dur. Et on a remis petit à petit les classements en sortant et quand on a vu que le bateau accélérait, et puis effectivement on a vu qu'il y avait peut-être une 3e place qui était jouable.
On s'en va. On a payé le tribut pour quelques années là. Allez.
On passe l'équateur, la tradition, c'est le petit coup de champagne. Donc la prochaine fois, on passe plus vite. Un petit coup pour les skippers. Un petit coup pour le bateau. Et un petit coup pour Éole et Neptune. Qu'il soit plus sympa la prochaine fois.
Profite. Ça va être les dernières 24 heures à bord. Il n'y a pas eu que des moments faciles. Mais déjà c'est un privilège de naviguer avec Chris. Et puis un privilège de naviguer sur ce bateau. Donc voilà les derniers reachings là avant de finir vent-arrière, on va essayer de bombarder au max pour essayer d'accrocher cette place sur le podium. Qui sera voilà, pas la récompense méritée mais une compensation on dira.
Voilà, le minimum qu'on pouvait donner à toute l'équipe qui a fait un boulot de ouf et à Charal, c'était de tout donner pour être sur le podium et c'est chose faite, donc on est content d'avoir pu faire ça pour tout le team.
Happy to think about a jibe here, done? Yep. Probably behind them. How are they on ley line, you think, Josh?
I think you're just below boat there.
Flicks them?
Flicks it in mid.
Copy. Here. Might be coming up underneath Blick here. Coming up. Yeah, nice. Good spot here. Happy where we are. Good mode here. Don't need to be too high, okay? Let's get going just a little. Yeah. Yeah, copy. Yeah. Let's start to work high now, please. Working high. High mode's good. More high, please, Ted. Let's get going a little, please. Bow down, little lefty. Yeah. Getting close here, Don. Bow down, dig. Bow down, bracing. Very late. Might have to come up a little. All good. Turn. Yeah. 2, 1, bounce. 2, 1, bounce. 2, 1, bounce. Make it. Copy. Yeah, copy. Hard to see, guys. Getting close here, okay? Stand by. Diving. 3, 2, 1. Diving now. Nice and slow, Don. Yeah. Copy. Up, John. Push it, yeah. Oh, watch your foot. Bow up. Up, Josh, right here. No, this there. Bow up. Way backwards. Ah, sorry. Drive that too. Might go right. Bow up. 2, 1, go bro. Max drive here, max drive. Turning and left turn. Up, oh yeah, turn. Nearest head. Turning hard. Mind up. Yeah, I'll have an attack here shortly. Let's get going. Hold it. Down. Stand by to attack here, okay? 3, 2, 1. Attacking.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everybody who's watching. Welcome to the very first edition of Time Over Distance, brought to you by the Royal Ocean Racing Club. And for our first episode, we are talking to Brian Thompson.
Well, good evening, Louay, and thanks for RORC for setting this up. And hello to all my fellow members and sailing friends around the world, all of us land-bound, unfortunately, at the moment. But hopefully this can entertain you for 1 hour of our lockdown.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And just, I mean, Brian doesn't really need an introduction, but he had to count them up for us. Brian has broken 33 world sailing records over the last 30 years, and they are some amazing racing. But the first thing I want to ask Brian is, how did you get into sailing? Where did you start off?
Well, I didn't start off on the ocean, on a little lake near Ruislip, which is west of London, near Heathrow Airport. Is a 30-acre lake called Ruislip Lido that is not even used for sailing anymore. And there was a very small club there, and we sailed herons, graduates, albacores, and they even had some international moths. But I was only a kid. First time I went there was when I was 3, because my mum and dad were into sailing at the time. And it was a sort of cool sport in the 70s, so kind of like kite surfing might be now. And we would sail in the winter on the lake, sometimes breaking the ice. And then in the summers, a caravan on the east coast of England on a river called the Crouch. And I used to race there with the Royal Corinthian Yacht Club, which has since become RORC, or been amalgamated with RORC in Cowes. And not only racing, but also just exploring up the river. And some of my best memories are just going off single-handed in the heron dinghy, just me and our family dog, and we'd just go off for hours at 11, 12 years old. So maybe that gave me a taste of sailing on my own and exploring on the water.
Right. Wow, it's always interesting to know where people come from. But I know you did end up as a skipper in the Caribbean. How, on a charter boat? Is that right?
Yes, purely by chance. A lot of these things happen by chance. But I did a degree in economics at university, and then I took a year off to go traveling around. I was going around Europe on a motorbike, and was in Gibraltar, and purely by chance, this Swan 48 boat turned up in the marina, and I was just chatting to the guy, and he said, "I'm a ski instructor in the winter, and in the summer I skipper this boat." And I said, I obviously had done sailing, but I had no idea there was any such thing as professional sailing, which would combine traveling, sailing, and having your expenses paid. So I thought, this is great. And he said, go to Palma, Mallorca, and walk along the docks and ask everyone for a job. And I went and took my motorbike to Valencia, ferry to Palma, spent 5 weeks kind of day working there and talking to all the boats, and eventually got a job on a quite a famous racing boat called Mistress Quickly. And then the next year I sailed to the Caribbean, and at 22 was skippering sailing boats in the Caribbean. So I thought, this is great. I don't think I need to go back to real life yet.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, what I want to do is, we've got so much to get through. I know that sounds awful to say that, but I'm going to zoom right forward to 1999 and Steve Fawcett's PlayStation. I'm just going to pull up a picture of the boat. We'll make it a bit bigger. I'll keep it over here. Yeah, you see Brian
I'll
getting
give you
out
a
of the
bit
way of
more
the
room.
boat there. You don't want to get run over, Brian.
Yeah, there you go.
So Steve,
It's a spectacular
Steve Foss,
boat.
yes. I'll just give you a quick intro. 32 metres originally, I believe, 105 feet, catamaran. Morelli, Melvin?
Yeah, exactly.
So just
and
tell
then
us,
stretch to 125 feet. So that is in its longer version with completely new bows. But that's the original mast. And, it was way ahead of its time. So this was conceived by Steve Fossett, who was an amazing, amazing adventurer and record breaker in every field, from sailing to ballooning to dog sled racing, gliding, flying.
Yeah.
Really incredible.
Yeah.
And this boat had a lot of totally novel equipment, really. So it was a huge amount of effort to get up and running in time for the race, which started New Year's Eve, 1999.